All right. Welcome in. You found us once again. Shoot the Gap, the fantasy football focus show spanning the generation gap of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. I am your humble MC, Brian, the Amigo Baldwin. And of course, it's my pleasure, my honor, to introduce the man winning in life, but not in fantasy football, Ethan, the Doc Marshall.
Is that going to be my introduction from now on?
Well, dude, until one of the two things change, yes. Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, I made the playoffs in two of my three leagues and made the championship in one. That took some winning, right? Took some winning.
Do they have rings that say like, "Hey,
Hey,
good"?
how many years did you play before you got one of those?
I think 3 years. This is my third season. I think I got this.
Okay, that's one more than me. I get one more. I get one year. Then come on, I get a grace year.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Okay. So again, shoot the gap. Yeah, dude, this is our 55th show. So who played up now on the Houston Rockets at boy number 55?
Oh, don't do this to me, man. I don't know what is that Cookie Monster? Did he play for the?
Well, close. It was the Kimbe Mutombo. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna guess that. I didn't. My history for the Rockets is really bad. I've been trying to forget that the Rockets are a team because it's been so hard lately.
Well, yeah, dude.
It's been so hard.
It's literally a 50-50. It was either Dikembe or Cookie Monster. And, sometimes, it's chicken, sometimes it's feather. But yeah, man, this is our 21st show in this hopeful year of our Lord. And, man, I said this again. I said this last time, but I'm going to say it again. Man, do we got news backed into the show. Holy mackerel. Yeah, man.
And so much news is just like, what? What are they thinking? I feel like when Bill O'Brien from the Houston Texans, it was like, one of those movies where like the bad guy blows up and the spirits just go all out everywhere and go and infect every team and they all make dumb moves like Bill O'Brien. Like that's what's happening this offseason.
Yeah. It's interesting. And that's what makes us interesting because we get to talk about this stuff. Yeah, man, because we talk about the fancy implications of it. So pretty exciting stuff. So basically all we're going to be covering, guys, is just the news and then the good news, sorry, and then rumors. And that's it. But the majority of it's going to be news because, wow, there's been a lot of good news. And before we go to the good news, though, Ethan, come on, man. Let's thank our supporters of the show, brother.
All right, I'm going to go out of order. Normally, we don't start here. I'm going to go with Sports Host app. The Gut, he's been a proud, user of Sports Host and a supporter of the product. It's a great place. It's a great community. Take his word for it. He has a lot of great community that he's built up there. And it's just a great place. He started a league with people he knew there. That's a great place to find people who can be serious and actually, get involved, so check out Sports Us. If you're a sports fan, you want to discuss various sports related topics with other like-minded folks.
Nice. And Ethan, why am I wearing a Cougars hat? A U of H Cougars hat right now? Why do you think I'm wearing that?
This Jamma, man, is it out? They're just, wow, man.
Yeah, that comeback win is awesome, dude. It's because I got Houston pride, man. I got hope for the Texans, but I have Houston pride, man. And so, of course, brother, we got to talk about the pride of Sunnyside. I'm talking about, man, high volume music, radio, the pride of Sunnyside. Yeah, man, I want to thank those guys, dude. Yeah, make sure and download the app. You get all types of shows like Andrew B's Vocal Sounds, the Business Knowledge Broker Show, the Soul Brothers Show, What's on Your Mind with Aunt Boogie. And blame it on the boogie. Yeah, man. You get all these shows all in one app. Plus, if you go to Houston Music, highvolumemusicradio.com, you can stream live and you can get to hear all the music, all the shows. It's fantastic stuff, man. So, Ethan, if it ain't high volume,
It ain't loud enough.
Ah, nice, nice, nice. Hit it, my brother.
Boop.
No news is good news. No news is good news. You ain't got any blues if you ain't got any news. Ha!
Mm. Yeah.
So good
That,
shit.
that one slaps, man. It slaps. I'm
Oh, I
just
love it.
saying.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, man. We're going to start off with Ian Rappaport is reporting that Kenny Galladay has signed a 4-year, $72 million deal with the New York
I,
Giants.
oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes, yes. So reportedly, he had offers from Cincinnati. I know one from Cincinnati, but that was more like a prove it type deal. You know that he also he visited the other teams like the Bears. Okay, he checked out the Bears. You know, so let me ask you, man, is that a good fit? Is that a good fit?
you know, when I first read it, I was just like, I just laughed to myself. That's squan. The one thing that I will say, I feel like it might do
Mm-hmm.
is boost the value at quarterback there. I think that it could make him at least a top contender for someone you can pick up off waiver wire
Who is it?
that goes undrafted.
Who is it?
Oh gosh, man, I can't believe my mind is blanking.
Go with it.
He's such a forgettable uh, dude. Hold on, like it's on the edge of my tongue. I know it. I know it. Daniel something, right? It's
Uh huh.
Daniel something.
Yep.
Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones. Okay, sorry.
Hey. Dun, dun, dun,
You know what?
dun, dun, dun,
You
dun.
know what I did? You know what I did, Brian? I fumbled his name like he does with the football. But I do feel like now that you have like kind of like a Calvin Johnson type big body receiver, you can throw it up in the general vicinity of the dude. It's just, is he going to be out there on the field? But I think that's the main thing it does. It doesn't make me. I think Galladay is going to fall off a bit in my books. He shouldn't go as high as he did last year. But Daniel Jones, I think, may get some uptick in value.
Where would you be looking at? Just I mean, okay, off the top of your head. I mean, you said last year he went in the third round. Kenny G.
Yeah.
Right. So, what
Mhm.
round do you think he'll probably fall to?
I think that there's people are still going to be picking him up in the fifth.
Oh, fifth. So yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
like I think with my just based on my strategy that I have in my head, if he's there in the fourth, I wouldn't mind getting him as my wide receiver too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's
Definitely.
that's what you're talking about in that range. Because if you're thinking about if most people they're doing like running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, they'll go back and forth. Then fourth round, bam, wide receiver two, you could have yourself something, yeah, right there, man. So interesting, yeah. But what does that do to Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard's value?
I mean, it just they were already hard to pick between. To me, it seemed like a crapshoot. The guy you started, it was a guy opposite him who was going to have the game, right? That just seemed like the way it worked in New York when you picked between those two. And Kenny Galladay coming in there, to me, I mean, it definitely, they're going to be late round. And you're kind of picking them up wondering if Galladay is going to play the whole season,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. I remember there was a report that came out earlier where the head coach was saying that they wanted to absolutely continue involving Evan Ingram, and that was all exciting. That was probably about a month ago. Now we got Kenny
Mm-hmm.
G. I'm wondering if they're just gonna try to like use him like they did, OBJ. So that's what I'm thinking about. Of course, the offensive coordinator was the dude from Dallas. So he knows how to use a running back. So Saquon will be healthy. Uh, think about it, dude. You got Saquon Barkley and Kenny Galladay on the same team. Huh? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, that could be a high powered offense. That could be like one of those offenses that you just have to, like with Buffalo last year, right? Not that Daniel Jones is going to do what uh, Josh Allen did, but that wasn't a very interesting offense, and you weren't that excited about them the year before. But you bet on them because they brought in a star wide receiver that was going to spread the field, and they kind of did that, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think Daniel Jones is a he's not Josh Allen, but they're in the NFC East, so
Yeah.
you
That
know.
means that they play against the NFC East defenses. So, that's something to keep in mind. Yeah. So make sure. Yeah. So
Except for the WTF, except for them, they got some easy defenses. So
let me ask you a question. Okay. So, Ryan Tannehill. All right.
mhm.
He has. Where would you draft Ryan Tannehill?
Man, it's so hard to.
But in the rounds, you would draft him somewhere in the rounds, correct?
Oh yeah,
Okay. Okay.
definitely. I would
Okay.
probably
Okay.
draft them in the double digits,
Okay.
early double digits.
Sure. Okay. But you said that Daniel Jones is undrafted, right? Like
Yeah,
you'll probably get him in the pool, but but those two guys have the same situation almost. They have a star wide receiver, star running
yeah.
back. Okay, but
Mhm.
yet you're going with Tannehill. I know Tannehill's like shown that he can do it, but he's also
Yeah,
shown that he's hot and cold. And Daniel Jones runs it in. So Daniel Jones might be a sneaky pick, dude. He might be a sneaky like those Connor pick. That's a Connor pick. Connor's gonna pick
yeah.
up Daniel Jones.
The Daniel Jones thing to me is just the turnovers. Like Tannehill has had games where he didn't do much, but he wasn't a turnover machine. That's my concern with Daniel Jones is he can get you into the negatives.
Yeah, yeah.
if you,
But if he's available, like in your 15th round, I mean, think
oh
about,
yeah,
he's a great QB2, to hold to see what the hell's going to happen. So that's
yeah.
pretty cool. All right. So, and in other stunning news, Juju Smith Schuster has decided to resign with the Steelers for a 1 year, $8 million deal. So that was like a huge pay cut. Okay. Staying where he's at. Now, this sounds like a prove it type deal. Would you agree? So would you agree with
Yeah.
it? But so my first question, and I actually wrote this down, and then I did a little bit more research, but I decided to keep the question because I want to get your answer, and then I'll tell you my research. It's not that much research. It was obvious stuff. Whatever. Another point. Do you think that he is staying due to not wanting to leave Pittsburgh, or lack of interest from other teams?
Man. I mean, I feel like whatever research you did is probably going to go to the opposite of this. But I do kind of feel like maybe it was lack of interest because although entire wide receiver core, Juju as one of them, just dropping balls left and right.
Yeah.
Like why would you pay a premium for that?
Right. And so that was my first thought too. Okay, and then whenever I was looking it up and just looking at the history of how he got to where he was, um, he he turned down contract offers from the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Whoa, the Chiefs.
Yes,
Whoa.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, and he had
That was
negotiations with the Jets, but
golly, the Chiefs, man. You're
yeah.
talking about going for a Super Bowl there,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, in fact, it was something that, I mean, people are coming out of retirement to play for the Chiefs. Kyle Long, offensive lineman,
Yeah.
came out of retirement to play for the Chiefs. Why? Because he's like, hey, I want one of these,
Yeah,
So, you're gonna pay me $5 million, and I might get one of these. Nice, So, yeah,
But the problem is, if you don't block your quarterback, you definitely won't get one. We learned that last or this year, that is.
Oh yeah. Good point on that. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, that's that right there. I mean, the whenever I learned about the Ravens and the Chiefs, I was like, wow. I guess it's just he didn't want to leave Pittsburgh, man, or maybe it could have been a better deal. I mean, or worse deal. I mean, $8 million for 1 year. That's not. I mean, for where he was getting paid and what you think what he would think his value is. You know, I mean,
Is it guaranteed money? Is it
uh,
guaranteed money with Pittsburgh?
sure.
That's the only thing I can think is if it was guaranteed money with Pittsburgh and with the Chiefs or the other teams, it was like not guaranteed and it was a prove it thing and you didn't want to risk it. I don't know, but still, I mean, there's even that. It's like I don't know. I don't know. That's crazy, man. I knew you were gonna hit me with a bombshell,
Yeah.
but damn, I didn't think the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Dang.
Turning down an offer from the Chiefs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. All right, man. For turning down Mahomes for Roethlisberger. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And yet more stunning news. Chris Carson signed a 2-year, $14.625 million contract to stay in Seattle right after it was reported that he was in contract negotiations with New England. Yeah, so what do you think? Is that a good move? Is he an RB1, RB2? What do you think? Would you like to have seen him in New England?
Did Hyde leave? I feel like Hyde left. Did Hyde leave Seattle?
I think so. We could.
I don't remember where he went. Oh, he went to Jacksonville, didn't he?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Carson went in the third round last year. I think that's about where he should go.
Okay.
He didn't prove anything to me last year that he should go higher than he went this year or this last year. He didn't prove anything about him needing to go in the second or first. The only thing that would bump him up there is the fact that they got rid of Hyde. So in some sense, it shows, hey, we have confidence in this guy, but
well,
his injury would make me nervous about picking him any higher. Having him be my RB1, I don't know about that. I'd go RB2. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, is he a good flex?
Oh yeah, if I could get him in the flex, I'd be psyched.
Well,
I would be very about that.
Okay, I mean, because you could flip him, what I mean by that is like grab, third round. So I mean, you could do RB, wide receiver, or RB if you do what you did, dude.
I don't think the thing is I wouldn't have done RB if it was Carson as the third RB. The only reason I did that was because Jones was I would put him a tier above Carson.
That was smart. That was definitely smart. You had bad luck. I only got this from luck, so it was definitely not from skill. This was luck. This was God given. So thank you, Jesus. But yeah, yeah, dude, you just had some bad luck. But I thought your strategy was really sound on your drafting. So the NFL Network is reporting. This is today that Deshaun Jackson and the Rams have reached a deal. Now, the details I can only find was just it's a 1-year deal, so I don't know what the money is like. But let me ask you this. With this news, what affects Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods the most? This signing or Matthew Stafford being their new quarterback?
I do think Stafford is an upgrade, so that bumps them up.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm worried about Deshaun Jackson and what he's going to do to their value. Because the thing is, even with them having Goff and kind of a lackluster offense for a lot of the year last year, if you had Robert Woods, chances are you were happy most of the time. Mm-hmm. He was a good pickup, I think, at wide receiver. Cooper Kupp, not as much.
Hot and cold. Yeah.
Exactly. But the thing about Woods was fairly consistent, whereas Kupp was like either, drought or monsoon at that. I'm still drafting Woods exactly where I was before. I'd probably move Cup down. Deshaun Jackson, it's just one of those. They're just adding depth at the wide receiver. Who was the rookie? I want to. It's not Justin Jefferson was Minnesota. Who was the guy? The young dude that they had.
As a third wide receiver. Well, here let me tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Well, okay. While you're looking that up, let me tell you what I'm concerned about. Okay, is that 2 years ago I managed Robert Woods, and he did really well. What I found out, he did really well when Brandon Cooks was hurt, and then when Brandon Cooks played, he didn't do as well. And same thing with Cooper Cup. So it was like, Cooper Cup and Woods did really well whenever Cooks wasn't there, but Cooks would swallow just
Yeah.
enough to take from him. And that's what I'd be concerned with Deshaun Jackson. Now, of course, I don't think the guy has had a healthy season in the last 2 years, so it'd only be a mild concern. But it might make Robert Woods fall, and you could probably grab him as maybe like if you can grab him as your wide receiver 3, you're a very happy man. So.
Oh yeah, Van Jefferson is the guy I was thinking of, not Justin Jefferson. Van Jefferson. I know they knew they had the same last name. I think of the first name.
Nice.
But he was only present enough to piss you off as a Cup owner or Robert Woods owner, because he would get the touchdown when you really needed it in a game.
Right.
And he didn't go anywhere, I don't think. He's still there. So adding Deshaun Jackson to the mix does not help things.
Yeah. But
Maybe he's injured again most of the time that he's on the team.
yeah.
I mean, he definitely didn't help you a lot if you had him last year.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I remember the first game of the season, dude, when I got Deshaun Jackson the 15th. I thought I was the man. I was like, dude, he's gonna blow up. Oh, golly.
And then the Eagles happened.
Anyway, okay. Well, I still got this. All right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It ended well.
Yeah. It ended well. Corey Davis, he's now a New York Jet. NYJ, New York Jets, Jets. That's what he is, man. So, he joins a pretty good quarterback, Sam Darnold, and a wide receiver core that definitely needs a wide receiver 1. So, do you think he's up for that job? What do you think?
I mean, Corey Davis was. I think that I lucked out. Like the one game that it was worth starting Corey Davis, I started Corey Davis last year. So you'll have to forgive me if in my head I think he was like a solid player. I have to compartmentalize the way that went in my head. It's scary, that coaching staff, to do anything productive. I don't know. Say a lot after.
Yeah, it's a new coaching staff, and it's a coaching staff. Well, that's funny because that's exactly the head coach. That's his name, Selah. It really is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's how it all came to. That's how it all came to pass. So what you said was like extremely like witty, like awesome.
Totally meant it.
Yeah. I know you did, man. Yeah. But people are wanting to play for him. So he's supposedly either is a good head coach, good guys, got a good rep. Something is up amiss. I know, whatever it is, players want to play for him. So this is not. That's why, like I told you earlier about Juju. That's why he was negotiating with the Jets, because he wanted to play for that guy. So interesting stuff. But what does that also do for AJ Brown?
I would say that it ups his value for sure. But I mean, did Corey Davis take away? Did Corey Davis's success draw defenders away from him? But AJ Brown is that guy. He's just massive. He's a big dude and he's fast. It just doesn't get. So no, yeah. I'm more secure picking AJ Brown. I'd probably pick him in the 4th round. I'd easily pick him as a wide receiver too. I'd be happy with him as a 1.
dude,
He ended up as a one for a lot of people last year.
brother, and he was hurt. He could have ended
I
his
know.
season. Okay, and he
Yep.
played that well. I mean, now he's going to be healthy. Whew, 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 whew,
Yeah.
woo! It's going to be nasty. That's going
Titans
to be.
just need to lock in that defense. If they can pick up some defensive players in the offseason, they're a serious contender.
Yep, 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 yep. Now this one hurt. This one hurt. This news I'm about to tell you hurt me personally.
I know. I think I know what it is.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe, because it hurt two players that I really like.
Oh yeah, I know. Now I know what it is. Now I know what it is.
Yeah, which is Kenyon Drake has signed a 2-year, $14.5 million contract with the LA Raiders. Oh,
Hey, hold on, Brian. I got to do this. This is just such a bad move.
oh, but that's just like I loved Kenyon Drake. I love Kenyon Drake, but he's poo now. And dude, Josh Jacobs, I mean that.
Yeah.
I mean I was following him. I got him when he first was, a rookie. When he broke out. I mean, it was so exciting. He's got a really good heart. I mean, he's a little immature issues, but still, immaturity issues, but still, man, I love that guy for fantasy, man. So both those guys, they're out. It's all shit stick now. It's complete shit stick, and I never win it. I mean, you win in life, Ethan, so you'd probably win the shit stick. Like you already talked about Corey Davis, that was a shit stick, and you won it. So maybe
That's the only time it's ever happened by me.
bullshit. Yeah. So, but point is that it's shit stick, and it kills them.
God, where do you think they're gonna go? Do you think people? I think because in my head, I feel like they're still gonna get drafted too high. Both of them are gonna get drafted way above where they should get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree. I agree with that. And you're basically playing. They what I read was that Kenyon Drake is. John Gruden said that he sees him as a jack of all trades type guy. Like he could do everything. Okay, so that signals to me that they might be lining him up in the slot. I know that whenever he played for Miami, for some reason they wouldn't hand the ball off to him, but they lined him up in the slot a lot, and he did really well. In fact, that was the like my best ever fantasy football play in my life was whenever Danny Amendola they passed it to Danny Amendola in the backfield. He catches it and then he throws it to Kenyon Drake for a touchdown, and I had both Amendola and Drake. Oh, it was awesome.
That's beautiful.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't like when you're watching it, look at your score, and it just like explodes. And you're soaring past the person. You're like, wow, all one play. Anyway, point is. That's what they probably do with him. So I don't know if anybody's really kind of a good value unless one of them gets hurt, and even then there's Booker that's just hanging around, so
here's a thought. Here's a thought experiment here. So where do you take if you're in a draft and no one wants to touch them? At what round do you pick up which of them?
Oh yeah, man. Eighth round. Probably eighth round. Once I get a good quarterback and a good tight end, taken care of. So that's because by then I should have my running backs. I should have a good flex. Should have my wide receiver. I should have all my starting lineup basically. And so now
and having one of them on your bench is. I don't have a problem with that. Just relying on them as a starter is definitely a no go.
Okay, how about this, Ethan? Since you threw a good question at me, I'm going to throw one right back at you. Like back at you with knobs on it. Okay, yeah. So it's here you are. Okay, let's say eighth round. Okay, because that's where you said you would pick them, right? Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. Yeah.
Okay. Kareem Hunt, or Kenyon Drake, or Josh Jacobs. How about just Kenyon Drake / Josh Jacobs? So either one of those guys, or Kareem Hunt.
I'm trying to think of if the Browns have made any moves, and I can't think. I'm going Hunt. I'm just going to tell you that I'm going Hunt because I've seen the committee in Cleveland, and I'm okay with picking Hunt there. I don't know what the committee is going to look like, and also the O line for the Raiders is garbage. And I trust the quarterback play more in Cleveland as well. So if there's going to be dump off, I'd rather have Kareem Hunt.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That was kind of like an unfair question. It's a middle of the off season type question because whenever you're in prime form, I mean, you're right then. You're like, no, man, Kareem Hunt. Because Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both can do well. Now, Nick Chubb will do a little bit better, but still, Kareem Hunt does a really good flex situation spot. So and there's no shit stick.
And Kareem Hunt is like, for your blood pressure is terrible because he doesn't kick in until the second half. So you're hating your entire first. Remember we had pretty much identical teams in two different leagues. And so both of us were watching the Kareem Hunt game like, what the man, he's got 1 point in the whole first half and then blows up and gets 20 points in the second half. Like every time he had a good game, that's how it went.
Cincinnati. I remember at the beginning of the year against Cincinnati.
Oh gosh, man.
I was like,
it's so painful.
I was like, Nick Chubb, damn it. And I was like, fumble Nick Chubb. Or, you don't want anybody to get hurt, but you're like, stub your toe or something,
like get the wind knocked out of you or something.
Something, yeah, dude. I don't know, man. Yeah. Go back and get some fluids. Cramp up somewhere. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway, how about this? One question I had relating to that before we move past one more step down the news. Chase Edmonds, is he the guy over in Arizona now? I
mean, barring some other major pickup.
Okay, March 21st. As of March
21st, I'm picking up Chase Edmonds much higher than I would like to admit, probably.
Now, does it concern you that the quarterback is Kyler Murray?
It does. It doesn't. It doesn't. I think because he doesn't really have. There's not a name that scares me aside from him. I'm fine with picking him. Right? It's when you have that quarterback that vultures the touchdowns and another running back to compete with that I'm like, I'm out. I'm not going to mess with it. But if you got a quarterback that vultures touchdowns and one solid running back, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because that's what you had with Tennessee last year. You had that. You had Tannehill running it in on occasion or throwing it on the 1 yard line, which is insane when you have Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. But Derrick Henry still, delivered most of the time.
If you had your running back you want, your first wide receiver that you want, okay, you got your second running back, round 3. Round 4, we have Chase Edmonds or AJ Brown sitting there. Who do you go for?
AJ Brown. AJ Brown.
All right.
Dude.
What if you have Henry? What if you have Derrick Henry? If you got
if Henry's one of my running backs, I'd probably go Chase Edmonds at that point in time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because you gotta diversify, man. I mean, if you just don't know, what could happen. You just never know what's gonna happen. Speaking of that, Will Fuller has signed a 1-year deal with the Dolphins. All right, man.
This is another player to the Dolphins. They are just like trolling Watson at this point. Trolling that dude at this point. They're sending everyone but him to the Dolphins.
Right.
That's their move.
That's funny. Well, we'll talk about Watson, and he did release some information about his preferred destinations, but what you're talking about is funny. That's really funny. So, but I have something to ask you. All right, so now we got Will Fuller there. How does that affect Parker, Devontae Parker, or Gesicki?
I would definitely say I'm already, especially after drafting him in a couple of my leagues last year, already on the outs with Parker. But to see Fuller show up, Gesicki, I mean, if you're in that kind of late round trying to grab a tight end, but even then, it's like I'm sure you're going to bring up this other news, which drastically affects the receiving core for the Dolphins.
Okay.
What, you know, Fitzpatrick.
Oh, yeah,
Not,
yeah. I will. Stop.
Yeah, that is not meaning to get ahead of myself, but that
No,
is.
we can talk
I'm
about it
already,
though. We can talk about it. Sure, let's talk about it. It rolled right into it. Go for it.
I'm already on the outs with that receiving core because of that reason. Because Tua was just like, it was almost like Voldemort, right? Where it was just the offense was just, and the thing that kept them in the game was their defense, which was so solid last year.
Right.
So Will Fuller, I'm like, that's great that he's going there, but can your quarterback throw the bomb, which is like where you shine,
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. No, I hear you, dude. I hear you. Yeah, but yeah. Well, so many people, so many Houstonians are going to Miami that even our police chief is going to Miami.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Art, why'd you leave us, man? Come on.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna go there too. Yeah. So but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick. He got signed to WTF.
Yep.
How does that affect Scary Terry, Logan Thomas, Antonio Gibson?
I'm as in on them as I was before.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Yeah,
in some ways, maybe more. Who supported Gesicki's rise to fantasy fame in Miami? It was Fitzpatrick. Logan Thomas was shining with, Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins. And somehow Scary Terry was still and Antonio Gibson's breaking out when you have a revolving door of those guys. So you sprinkle some Fitzmagic in there. And I do have to bring because I can't keep up with every freaking team the dude's played on. But has he been on a team with a stellar of defense as Washington team football has?
When he was here in Houston, Houston's defense was pretty righteous.
Okay. Yeah, but he didn't have the beard that he does now, and I think that's where his power comes from. Pretty sure.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've said on the show before that Logan Thomas is he's my new favorite tight end that I want to have. Yeah, I'm a dude. He's gonna be really good, dude. I'm really excited about him. Yeah, I was trying to look see what on Antonio Gibson about his receiving, but I think that's going to go up too.
Yep.
How about this, Curtis Samuel? How about Curtis Samuel signing with the WTF for a 3-year, $34.5 million contract, reuniting with Ron Rivera? Easier for me to say. But how does that affect Scary Terry, Logan Thomas, and Antonio Gibson?
I think it affects Terry more than anyone else. I feel like Thomas is gonna get his.
Okay, aren't you, sir? Weren't you an owner of Mr. McCaffrey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And weren't you, sir, the owner of the backup for McCaffrey, who was
Mike Davis? Yes.
Okay. And aren't you, sir, the one that felt the pain of Curtis Samuel getting the handoffs and the passes that Mike Davis was getting at one time?
I felt like he was getting the stuff because I was also an owner of both Robbie Anderson and God dang it, I've forgotten his name because I just don't want to remember it anymore. DJ Moore. I felt like he hurt them just as much. That's why I went there. Because I felt more slighted by Curtis Samuel vulturing from those two guys than I did Mike Davis or Christian McCaffrey. But yes, the handoffs, that stung too. But there's those games where he caught 2 or 3 touchdowns. These long passes where I'm just like, what? Really? What? And
Yeah.
none of the two guys that I own already from that team. That guy. All right.
So
Whatever.
and so you're saying that he's going to affect Scary Terry? Is that what you think? And Thomas?
Yeah, I would say like Samuel going there doesn't make me shy away from Logan Thomas. I think, and I fully agree with you. I think he is a target at tight end,
Mm-hmm.
but it definitely makes me concerned about Scary Terry because you have two things to be concerned about with Terry. I think, and that's the volatility of Fitzpatrick, which I mean, yeah, that affects Logan Thomas, but
Yeah.
we've seen historically what he can do with tight ends, and I'm okay with that. But
Mm-hmm.
what he can do with the wide receivers, that makes me nervous.
Yep. Agreed. So, okay, that doesn't make you nervous about it for Antonio Gibson. Maybe this will. All right. Washington, WTF, has now signed Lamar Miller to a 1-year deal. Now, does that affect Antonio Gibson?
I mean, I'm still picking Gibson up. It does make me nervous. I look at him as a depth piece. Um, he had the problem with turf toe
Yeah.
last year.
Mm-hmm.
So just but and also he's a rookie. You never know what's going to happen the second year.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out. It does make me a little nervous, but I'm not going to draft him lower than what I was previously.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it either. That news can scare you if you're in love with Antonio Gibson like we are, but yeah, it's just a depth piece. I'm not too worried about it. If anything, he'll be like what, a third down back or something like that. So definitely won't take away the starting role. However, okay, so that's not much like shaking the fantasy, right? This news might. Okay, so the Kansas City Chiefs have released Damian Williams. Yeah, so we're all worried. We have all been worried about what's going to happen to Eclair whenever Williams comes back. Well, he ain't come back. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So what does that put Eclair, man? I mean, is he first round material now? And that's Clyde Edwards-Hilaire by everybody. That's we call me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As of March 21st, I'd take him in the bottom of the first.
Wow. Nick Chubb or
Maybe
Eclair?
maybe in the man, I just can't. Second, I'm just gonna say second. If it's the first round, there are wide receivers. I'd rather pick up Diggs than Allaire. I'd rather have Diggs on my team.
You
than
don't
Allaire,
want to pick up Diggs. You don't want to pick up Diggs.
Okay, if I'm not in
You
your
don't want to
league,
pick up
if
Diggs.
I'm not in a league with you, I want to pick up Diggs, and I'd pick up Diggs before I picked up Allaire.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah. You already know that whenever we do our segment on who we're gonna build our draft behind. Oh, you already know who mine is, dude. I've already whipped it out, dude. Diggs. Yeah, that's who I want. Yeah. So, but okay. So you're saying that it actually puts would you put Chubb or Eclair? Chubb or Eclair?
Oh, Chubb.
Thank you.
Chubb.
Thank you for everybody listening.
I'm like, I don't actually have to think about this. Why am I even making this face? I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, what's funny was that the sound you were making, everybody that's listening to us on the High Volume Music Radio app, thank you very much for listening. It sounded like you were like taking a hit, because like, why would you have to think that out?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Only if you're completely stoned do you have to think about that.
In my head, I'm thinking about the times I've seen Chubb plow people over, and then also the times I've seen Eclair just get yanked down by someone who's already on the ground. And
Yeah.
so no, that's not even.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chubb.
Yep.
Sorry about it.
Yep. Well, that's okay. You made the right decision in the end. That's why they give you a minute and a half to make a decision when you're picking. Okay, so right. So hey, there might have been a J train derailment. Yeah. Yeah. The Colts are re-signing Marlon Mack to a 1-year, $2 million contract. So does that affect Taylor? Was it put him in your rankings?
Man, I get why the gut loves Jonathan Taylor. I get it.
Hmm.
But I just want nothing. I've seen how well just pick a name out of a hat, and that running back just does great in the game, and that's who they roll with.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, Wilkins, right? Jordan Wilkins was one guy they did where
yeah, Jordan Wilkins, Naeem Hines.
mhm.
I mean, there were games where he was just like a absolute madman out there and catching out of the backfield too. And you get Carson Wentz now, so I'd say that's an upgrade a little bit over Rivers.
Uh, yeah. Well, don't no
Not
no.
for running, not for running backs.
Thank
I
you,
correct myself.
thank you.
In general quarterback play, yes, but for value for running back, no,
Yep.
definitely
Ah,
need there.
you beat me to it. You beat me to it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. So the consensus is no. J Train is still where J Train is. Yeah. This Marlon Mack news doesn't really change anything because it's kind of shit stick. If you really think about it, there's if where J Train's going, you might want to pick up Kareem Hunt instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So Doc, give me some cowbell. Yeah, that's Bill Belichick. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more tight ends. I'm like, come
What is
on,
going on there?
dude. They signed Hunter Henry to a 3-year, $37.5 million. It's $37.5 million contract with $25 million guaranteed. It's on
Hold on.
top of signing Jonnu Smith. So,
Well, yeah, hold on. This is 2 weeks of that drop for the Patriots, by the way. 2 weeks of using that drop for them.
holy mackerel, man. That's just, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with something like that? Okay. I don't think all that did to me, in my opinion, fantasy wise, is just thinned out an already thin fantasy position, which is tight end. Because now you have two tight ends you can't use. You can't use Johnu Smith now. You can't use Hunter Henry now. Because
Mhm.
you don't know. I mean, if I would say, okay, I would probably pick, like, if I had a choice, I'd probably pick Hunter Henry over Dallas Goddard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what the range that you're looking at picking these guys up. On the bench. Third tight end maybe or second tight end. Whatever. If you want to mail it, take a chance on tight end. That's what you would do. Yeah, but they're not startable by any means, and that just means that you just got to keep an eye open. Just remember the name Anthony Ferkser. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that name. Remember that name. Yeah. Oh, did I hear Yakety Sax?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I get it one more time?
Yes, sir.
They also signed Nelson Aguilar.
The deep bomb threat.
Mr. Panhands.
Can't
Mr. Panhands. Yeah, dude. You have your baby. You're your second story of a burning building, and you have Nelson Aguilar down there. Are you throwing your baby? No, you're not gonna catch it.
I don't get this.
Yeah,
I don't-
but
I'm telling you, man, they're adopting the Texan way. The Texans are trying to get the Patriot way. They're trying to get the Texan way.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna out Texan you. We're so good. We're gonna out Texan you. Yeah. So you take our
They're going to be better than us.
Yeah, you take our general manager. We'll show you. Yeah. But tight ends. We were talking about tight ends. The Chargers. They signed Jared Cook to a 1-year, $6 million contract. How does that make you feel about Mr. Cook?
I think Cook takes the place of where Henry was. Personally, I'd say that. But the thing is, Cook was already kind of up there. Like he is one of the names that you talk about whenever you're talking about picking a tight end. I say he's a tight end 1, which isn't really saying much because once you get below the third or fourth, the drop off is so dramatic that
Hmm.
it's really just scraping the bottom feeder at that point. But I
Yeah.
do think his value increases.
Oh, I'm real excited about it. I'm real excited about it because what that means is that Justin Herbert, he targets it.
Mhm.
He knows how to target his guys, and so he's going to have that big target there. And I'm real excited about both Herbert and also Cook. I wouldn't mind doing the stack. Of Herbert and Cook. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's how excited I am about it. But let me ask you, Ethan. You hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability. The Eagles released Alshon Jeffrey.
Yep. Yep.
All right, moving on. The Bears have signed Andy Dalton to a 1-year, $10 million contract.
Yo, hold on. What is this? What is this?
Well, he said that he only signed with them because they guaranteed him a starting spot. Yeah, that's what he said.
I'm
Yeah.
asking what's up with the Bears. That's what I'm asking. For Andy Dalton, if someone's paying me $10 million to play quarterback for him, I'm there. I'm wondering why the Bear
Yeah. Well, man. Apparently, the Bears made an aggressive pursuit of Russell Wilson, but was told that Seattle isn't interested in trading him. So I don't know if that's really the truth. It probably was the offer wasn't good enough. So, but last show we talked about how Allen Robinson said that there was zero chance that he was going to sign his fantasy, or I mean, not fantasy, his help me out here, academia. Yeah,
franchise tag.
franchise tag. That's what it is. Yeah. So he said he was zero chance he was going to sign the franchise tag. However, now he has now accepted his franchise tag worth $18 million. Yes. Yeah. So basically, yeah, Robinson was basically saying like, guys, check it out. Just anybody but Trubisky or Foles. I don't care. Okay. I'll sign it. Okay, please.
Wow, man, that is brutal.
Yeah. So he's staying. Yeah, he's staying. So yes, that's happened. All right, and now here's something that doesn't seem too swift at all. The Lions have signed Jamal Williams to a 2-year, $7.5 million contract. So what does that do with Swift, dude? I mean, who's the back to own in Detroit?
I mean, if I'm picking between the two, I'm gonna pick Swift above Jamal Williams, but it definitely puts a damper on how confident I am in Swift.
Well, you know what that does also though is that 100%, okay, gives you a lot more clarity in Green Bay about what's happening with Aaron Jones. And now you know why Aaron Jones re-signed there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's gonna be the man.
Yeah,
There.
I think that ups the value. Dead gum. I shouldn't have brought this up. I can't remember the dead gum guy's name. Quads, the quad
Oh,
man.
Dillon, AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. I think that makes him a late round target if you're wanting a good backup running back or even a flex.
He's like Alexander Madison because Boone is not there anymore. So he's like Alexander Madison now. Dillon is. Yeah, he's the guy like you're holding on to that. Whenever the starter goes down because he's injury prone, that he's gonna come in. And yeah, I think you're right about that thing. AJ Dillon is a good sneaky late round pick. Good call on that, man. The Cardinals they've signed AJ Green to a 1-year, $8.5 million contract. So it looks like this move pretty much guarantees that Larry Fitzgerald's out in Arizona, man. So
Yeah, I was about to say that. This to me just like it looks like they're trying to like reverse time a couple of years with Fitzgerald and have a guy who's also very late in his career and like,
tall,
trying
big
to get
guy,
out of him.
soft hands. Yeah.
But not as man. Larry Fitzgerald is just such a class act. Like he's just such a good dude. It's I like him a lot, so it's kind of a bummer that it's kind of like hinting that he might be on his way out.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'll fall somewhere like maybe Cincinnati. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but no, but AJ Green is now third, I think, behind D Hop and Christian Kirk. Is that safe to say, or do you think he's second?
yeah, I think he's third.
Okay. All right. And now the Dolphins. They signed running back Malcolm Brown. Okay. So now the contract details aren't known just yet, but what does that do to Miles Gaskin or Salvin Ahmed, excuse me. I'm sorry.
I mean, it sucks because like you wanted. I remember preparing for the draft last year. I didn't want anything to do with the Miami backfield. Then Gaskin, I was able to pick him up off of waivers in a couple leagues, and it was great. While it lasted until he got injured, and so you were able to enjoy some clarity for a brief moment. And going into this next year, I was like, okay, Gaskin's a guy you can pick up, great flex play. But with Malcolm Brown coming in there, definitely rain on the parade there.
Yep, exactly right. Just kind of now it's shit stick. It's just it's L.A. Rams East. Basically that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with the weather and everything. But the Denver Broncos, those are the guys that won out on the Mike Boone sweepstakes. Okay, so they signed Mike Boone, and they rescinded their offer from Philip Lindsay, making him an unrestricted free agent. So yeah. So does that, what do you think about what's going on? And does that change anything out there in God's country?
It still makes me nervous to pick up and roll with any of their running backs, just because they were.
Remember, Gordon's going to be doing a 3-game suspension from his DUI.
Okay, so rolling with Boone in the first 3 games, if you're able to pick him up, but where do you think he's going to go? If you just had to throw out a wild guess, where do you think Boone is going?
As far as on the what round?
Yeah,
seven or 8.
So you ask yourself, if I get to that point and I'm sad that there's no one who's really calling out to me at that point, I've got my wide receivers and running backs, and there was a run on quarterbacks, and now there's quarterbacks I think I could pick up a little later, and I'm just kind of sitting there. I'll pick up a guy who I think will be a running back 1 for the first 3 weeks, and then you could try and trade him off and get good value for someone who's not paying attention and knows that Gordon's going to be coming back. I think if you're in that situation, that's a brilliant move to make.
Yep. And like I alluded to earlier, Alexander Madison now is the true backup for Cook. Yeah. So if you get Cook, that's when you want Madison. If you don't have Cook, don't get Madison. Okay. Seriously, that thing ate up. I've had him waste a spot on my bench before. Ugh. And I really needed it. Emmanuel Sanders signed a 1-year, $6 million contract with the Bills. So what does that impact? I mean, does it impact Diggs, or what do you think?
I think Diggs is going to get his. If it hurts anyone, it's going to be the other guys. Like your oh God, my brain, John Brown.
I can guarantee you, it won't affect John Brown at all. Not one bit, not one moment, not 1 inch, because Mr. Brown signed a 1-year, $3.75 million contract with the Raiders. So.
Okay, there you go. What? Okay, who's the blonde guy with the long hair?
Oh, the guy used to play in Dallas.
Yeah, he had some good games last year.
Yeah.
What's his name? Because he's then who's going to get hurt by it.
Yeah. So, are you really searching blonde guy who played?
Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley. Exactly.
I was thinking of.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so he's going to get. I would say. What happens? You might have been thinking it's Diggs, Beasley, right? Mm-hmm. No, now it's Diggs, Sanders, Beasley.
Agreed. Agreed. All right. So Minnesota has signed cornerback Patrick Peterson to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Is that good news worthy? Or if so, what's the impact? What do you think?
I mean, they had one of the worst defenses in the league last year. They were like, if you had a quarterback playing them, running back playing them, you were going out of your way to start them. I mean, it's hard to see like one dude coming in and altering the entire defense. But one thing though is they had a lot of fresh pieces last year, and limited training camp, no preseason, and a lot of young guys. And so you bring in a vet, you have a proper training camp and a preseason. Maybe we could see a different defense, even with just one guy, because it's more than just one guy. It's getting more time to, coagulate as a group.
Yeah, and they have some really stellar linebackers there. So yeah, it could be something pretty special. So keep an eye on that. 49ers signed the 8-time Pro Bowler offensive lineman Trent Williams to a 6-year, $138 million deal. So that should help out Jimmy G and Mostert. And, of course, Ayuk, because now it's going to give him a chance to get downfield, so that's good. Yeah, dude, Zane Gonzalez. We hardly knew the Cardinals signed Matt Prater to a 2-year, $7 million contract and kicked good old Zane to the curb. Yeah, poor guy. This is one I want to get your opinion on. Gerald Everett signed a 1-year, $6 million contract with Seattle. Okay, so now we don't. All that does is just as far as in Seattle, it mucks things up because you have Will Disley, already there. I think Olsen basically takes the place of Olsen because Olsen I think retired. Yeah. So you have all those other guys. What was it? I keep on thinking Abercrombie. So Hollister. Yeah, Hollister. Yeah. So now you have
Luke Wilson anymore, right?
No. Yeah, they cut him last year in this midseason, I think, because of this reason. There's too many, too many. Yeah.
Not for the Patriots.
Yeah, right. Well, he's got a fever. But the question I wanted to ask you: what does that do to Tyler, man? I mean, is he now the Hig Beast?
Yeah, man, that's to me when I saw that, I thought, okay, he could be like the Waller this year, right? Where you have to pay up a little bit for him, right? You gotta, because I had to pay up to get Waller. I think I picked him up in like the 6th or 7th round.
That's right.
But it paid off because he wasn't that far behind. I mean, he was tight end 2 on the year,
Oh yeah, he did great. Yeah.
And so that was a good pickup, I think. But the problem, hopefully, people will forget the Hig Beast from 2 years ago, and think about the Hig bum. I don't know, from this last year, and not see that, not pay attention to the news, not watch this show, and like Everett's gone, and he was one of the reasons why. Now, of course, you're still going to have, you got a crowded wide receiver corps with Woods and Cup. And we just talked about the third guy that they brought. Deshaun. Yeah.
So let me ask.
Still, man,
who's the quarterback?
Matthew Stafford.
And who was the really good tight end from Detroit? What was his name? Hawkinson, right? T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, because he was a favorite of the quarterback Stafford. Yeah. So you see how 3 and 3 makes 4 here.
I can see it. I can see it coming there. Definitely.
Yep.
I guess if you can pick him up, to me it's like if I'm loving my wide receivers, if I'm loving my running backs, and I haven't had good luck at tight end, and Higbee sitting there in the 7th round, I might go Higbee at that point.
I think you're right. Like maybe a good strategy might be to do, like if you go a little bit later with tight end, is do Higbee in that round, and then later on pick up like Hunter Henry, or Jonnu Smith. Yeah, something like that. So you can kind of hedge your bet a little bit. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. Or this tight end, because I know people are going to sleep on this guy. You're going to be able to pick up this guy, Anthony Ferkshire. You heard me say his name.
Exactly what I was going to say.
He re-signed with the Titans for 1 year, man. So is he a tight end 1?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You can put. I think. Do you agree with me? Both of us on the record saying Berkshire's a tight end one this
Yes,
year. Yeah.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes, yes, yes.
Put it down.
Yeah, yeah. So, Mitch Trubisky has signed a 1 year, $2.5 million contract with the Buffalo Bills. So, yay. Okay, so yeah, yeah, and we'll close out the news section with the Texans preparing
Mm,
for apparently without Watson. I guess that's what this is. They signed Tyrod Taylor to a 1 year, $12 million contract. So yeah, so there you go. So that's going to be the new quarterback probably because that's going to go this right into the rumors. And I know that we're over an hour now, but dude, there's a lot of news, and so there's also a little bit of this rumors I kind of want to talk about. So let's just kind of bang this out. So let's go and do the most important thing. Which is actually going to rule the most of the rumor section, dude. As recent as Wednesday, the Panthers have said that they are locked on to trade for trading for Deshaun Watson. You know, and with 3 first round picks being the starting point. Okay, so
starting point.
yeah, starting with 3 first round picks. Yeah, yeah. So without
That's like
going,
them doing all the damage of the Bill O'Brien era right there by giving up the generational talent.
yeah, but without going into too many details of the off the field issues with Deshaun, all right, without going into that, okay, we all know what's going on. Okay, is now the time to trade Watson because the NFL is investigating everything right now, so that means there might be a suspension coming. So I mean, now is the time to trade. Is this a good time to trade him, or if they wait, will they be getting like pennies on the dollar?
I'd see that when I first saw the news, I was like, they should have traded him by now because now his value is just plummeted. But if the Panthers are still willing to pay that, if you're the Texans, get out
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Get out now because you don't even know if this dude's gonna if this stuff actually is what they're saying it is.
Mm-hmm.
He might be a generational talent who isn't going to be playing in the NFL.
Or well, hang on now. Antonio Brown showed that you can be a deplorable,
Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
excuse for a human.
I live in the world where like humans have to be responsible for their actions. I forget that athletes got
I mean, same thing. Like well, anyway, we're not going to go into detail.
yeah,
Yeah. But the point is that this is the time to do it, and they need to get out now. And the thing is, the fan base won't get mad at him.
yeah,
Because like if he leaves, then they'll be like, okay, yeah, if he, here's your choice, dude. You either got that or you have a pissed off pervert in your locker room. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, so you're locked in somewhere. Okay, so got to be careful about that. Now, I did want to tell you that Deshaun did state, I think he released it through his agent, that he prefers either San Francisco or Denver as his destination. He does not.
What? He's not saying Miami
He
anymore. Huh?
does not want to play for Miami, and he says he does not want to play for New York. Yeah, so
I don't blame him for that.
yeah, Watson as a Bronco. I mean, come on, because like the first month, the Broncos would suck because they wouldn't have a quarterback and they wouldn't have a running back. But man, towards that end of the season, dude, I mean, with Gordon back and Watson, yeah, you never know, man. So,
Yeah, and Elway isn't there anymore, right?
Elway, well, he's there, but they got him a nice chair to sit in, and a fidget spinner to play with while they conducted business.
Because to me, I just felt like if he was running the show, he wouldn't want Watson.
Yeah,
He seems like he just wants a tall white guy
right,
to play. That's
right,
what.
right. So, all right, well, this will be the last bit of the rumor, so we'll just close it out real quick. So I did want to talk about the Watson thing because I was really concerned about them needing to trade him now, and
Yeah.
get what they can. I'm thinking maybe Tyrod Taylor because he's kind of the same as Teddy Bridgewater. Maybe that's a signal that guy's being mentioned. I don't think we're gonna get McCaffrey now. Okay, so yeah,
Maybe Bridgewater, Davis, and those 3 picks. Because even Davis is a solid running back.
yeah. Well,
Tate Johnson in the backfield. Ooh.
and then who else did they sign? Remember last week?
Oh gosh, yes, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Ingram. Yeah, so.
Oh yeah, even oh,
Yeah. I still have hope. Still have hope. Still have
Yeah.
hope. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so the last bit of rumor before we close out the show, Marvin Jones is expected to sign with the Jags. All right, so is that a good move? It's not in the good news section because he's not hasn't signed yet, so it's a rumor right now. Okay, so would that be a good move? And if so, I mean, what if they do sign him? What does it do to Shark?
Yeah, I was about to say that my boy Shark. I don't know, man. It all depends on how this kid, if he can ball out or not.
Yeah,
You know,
I imagine you're going to change the name of your fantasy team anyway, but
I loved it, man. It was good. I thought it was original. I didn't go to some name generator to make it up. I made it up myself.
yeah, yeah.
It
Well,
was Shark Khan, by the way, for those of you
one
who
more
don't
time.
know.
One more time.
Shark Khan.
Shaka Khan. Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, keep it. I mean, there's no reason not to. You could probably get him in the double digits now. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Man, if Shark was sitting there on my bench like a wide receiver 5, I'd be happy with that.
yeah. I mean, when you think about that, yeah,
Yeah, it feels pretty good considering he was my 2 and
Yeah.
last. So
exactly right. Yeah, but Laviska Chenault, that the young rookie breakout, that guy is, you know, he'd be non-existent. I think there's not enough mouths to feed. Yeah,
No.
with James Robinson and those two guys. So. All right, all right, all right. So, all right, what do you think, Ethan? You think we should probably land this plane? I mean, we've been here for a while. We went up in there. Yeah, dude, we did not even give them a meal. We've been up in the air that long. So, yeah, so you guys can see, we are a year long. I'm an annual. We keep going. So, we always hope to get all 3 of us. Sometimes we all can be here. Sometimes we can. Sometimes we'll have a guest. But the thing is, we'll always be here. So make sure Connor, or not Connor. Sorry, I'm used to Connor being here. Ethan,
yes.
if everybody was entertained by 2 generational beefheads bantering about, what should they do, sir?
Click the like button so our videos pop up in y'all's algorithms, and then click the subscribe button to subscribe to the channel and the bell icon so you get alerts when our content drops.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, man, how about you? You know what? You do both of them, dude. Think our supporters of our shows.
Gonna flip it around. Start with High Volume Music Radio. Again, shout out to the Cougs. Just that big comeback win today against Rutgers. It was amazing. Part of the sunny side, they're bordering U of H. So lots of love to that part of Houston. Just appreciate them having us on their station. Y'all go check them out. Download the app. Listen to all the great shows.
Say the name.
Oh, High Volume Music Radio. Sorry. I just assume people know what I'm talking about. The Pride of Sunnyside.
Okay.
All right, High Volume. I'm presumptuous. I just love y'all so much. And then also we have sports hosts. I gotta say the tagline, don't I? I don't remember the first part. I only remember the last part. You got to do the first part.
If it ain't high volume.
It ain't loud enough. See, okay, now I'll remember. If it ain't high volume, got it.
And you got the Pride of Sunnyside. You did get that, so that's good.
Yeah, I got that. And then we got the Sports Host app. Download the app, get on there, connect with other sports fans. I went on there recently. They got disc golf on there, man. They got everything. If there's a sport and you're into it, join the community. You can talk about all your favorite players, all your favorite teams, all the things going on. You can connect with people who want to do fantasy sports or anything like that. So download the app, get on there, get in the community, get involved. I think that's it. I think I got it.
Yeah, I think you did do it, man. Good job. And tell Christy I said God bless you, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
She's powerful.
Yeah, she is, dude. She was born with a good set of lungs. That's a
Yeah.
Yeah. So parting shots.
One thing, and I actually thought about this as we were doing the show. We talk about a lot of stuff, strategies like trading players. We mentioned it with Boone for Denver Broncos. One thing to consider, if you're in a league that's not highly active, don't make picks based off of trades, because it only works if you're in a league where people actually trade. There's my parting shot.
That's a very good point. That's an excellent point because that's really good because right now, it's March. We're about to hit the draft, so I guess my parting shot would be along with what you're saying is that it's time to go off to switch gears now. You know, instead of like, oh, let's go ahead and just try to stay, you know, active and watching everything. We just did a whole show that was supposed to be less than an hour, over an hour, because there was just so much news in 1 week. Okay, you know, and it's still coming in, and this is on top of a news week with the tournament starting. You know, so you know, I mean, just all this stuff coming in. It's time to start shifting gears back into it. You know, maybe next month, probably, you know, after Easter might be whenever you might want to start. You know, definitely after the NFL draft. Right after the NFL draft, start doing your own drafts. Start getting it started,
Yep,
but stay locked into us because we'll be able to get you educated. So whenever it's time to go, will you be ready to go? All right. So on behalf of Ethan, the Doc Marshall, and me, Brian, your humble MC, the Amigo Baldwin. Ha! How you like how I did that? We'd like to thank you for watching, and we hope that this year, absolutely, guys, is a damn sight better than last year. And Ethan, you're gonna help me out with this one. I'll start it, brother. Don't worry. You know, I'll tee it up.
I was like, don't make me start this one.
I'll tee it up, and you knock it out of the park. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Let me get ready to wind up. Remember, everyone, in fantasy football, as in life,
don't dream it, be it.
Yeah, hit the music. Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta hit the music. I forgot playing us out. Where's the sound? Oh, this is professional.
Okay, no, that's it.
Oh, here we go.